We are now ready to cut our material. We will do this with the tenon saw. Grasp the tenon saw by the handle, but place your index finger along the handle like you're pointing a gun. This leads to greater accuracy. This is often known as the pistol grip. The material must be securely clamped in order to safely cut it. To do this, we are going to use the bench hook. Place the bench hook in the vise to suit whether you are right or left-handed. If you are right-handed like I am, you will put the bench hook so that you hold the material with your left hand and hold the saw with your right hand. Place the material a couple of millimeters away from the edge of the bench hook and clamp it firmly with your hand. This can be done as shown. Try get your hand as near to the edge as possible. This is very important. Always ensure that your hand, elbow and shoulder are correctly aligned, so that when you're pushing the saw you make one swift motion as demonstrated. This also leads to greater accuracy when cutting material. Remember, your balance is very important. We can achieve this in many ways. Balance not only ensures that we are safe when we are processing, but it also ensures greater accuracy. Think of how important balance is for sports persons. Alternate your feet until you feel comfortable, and use your hand when clamping to steady yourself when sawing. Again, ensure that your finger is pointed along the edge of the saw. Place the saw on the waist side of the line and use your thumb to guide it. But be very careful, as saws can be very sharp and this could lead to an accident. Pull the saw back towards yourself 2 or 3 times until you create a little channel. When you feel the saw begin to bite, you can start to push it forward in the motion that we spoke about earlier. It is very important to make sure that the saw is 90 degrees to the material being cut. If you are finding this difficult, you can use your thumb to help guide the saw, but be very careful that your thumb is well above the cutting edge. Remember to slow down near the end, and if you need your thumb to guide the saw at the very end, this is okay. Inspect the cut. It should be clean and crisp and to the line. However, these cuts are not as crucial as the joints, as no material has been jointed together here, so they are ideal to practice in advance of cutting the joints. Here's the cut from a different perspective. Again, use your thumb to align the saw. Look at the angle that the saw is making with the timber. By cutting back towards yourself, there is less resistance, and this allows for a little channel to be made. When you feel the saw begin to bite, as it is now, you can start to push the saw forward in that motion that we spoke of earlier. See how the thumb is guiding the saw and helping to keep it at 90 degrees to the material. Again, be extremely careful, because if the saw slips, it could hurt your hand. Watch how the saw slowly drops down into the material to create a channel. Once this channel is achieved, the saw cannot move left or right, so all you have to do is concentrate on making sure that the saw is 90 degrees. Cut all of your components to length first. This will give you great practice and get you used to the saw before you start to cut the important joint details in the next video. Remember the key principles: stance, grip and alignment of hand, arm and shoulder.